Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where today I'm going to be using the Opal for October BH Cosmetics Birthstone palette for the final time. I like this palette. I bought it as a companion because I wanted some pastels to blend out deeper colors, but I have other options in my collection at this point, and this palette doesn't get any use. Also, while it is really good formula, the shades that excited me most the first time I used it were these two right here, and so I built my look today around those shades, and everything else kind of just gets forgotten about. So I'm going to pass this palette along, but I wanted to do one more video with it to honor my October friends' birthdays. So if you're interested in seeing how I did this, then don't go anywhere. If you're new to my channel, hey, my name's Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. I love to play with colorful eyeshadow, and I upload about 3 videos a week, all kinds of colorful eyeshadow content, from themed videos, palette collection tours, bingos, lots of tutorials. If you're interested in seeing colorful content on your timeline, I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. The first thing I'm going to do is prime my eyes. I like the Glamlight Icing Primer, and I use the shade White Frosting because I like a very nice white base for my shadows. Having a white base, I feel, makes them really pop and show up better on the skin. And as I'm looking at this palette, I'm trying to decide if I should bring in another palette because there's no depth at all in this one, and I really want to play with the blue and the green shadows. When I first used this palette, I was pretty unexcited. Not to say that the quality of the shadows was bad, it's just I wasn't very interested in the tones. I bought it as a companion palette because I like to use a pastel with deeper colors. But when I used the blue matte and the green shimmer, I was absolutely blown away. Above, I will card my first video using this palette where you can see like just not very excited and then wow, look at these two shadows. So today I want to use those two shadows, and I kind of want to use only those two. I may pull in the large shade, which is called Opal, perhaps as an inner corner highlight and throwing it on the lower lash line, but I think today's look is just going to be very light toned, and I'm trying to decide if I want to grab another palette or if I want to stay only within this one because it is my Opal for October inspired in the last video with this palette. I feel like it wouldn't quite be right to bring in another palette like deep in the outer corner. However, in the same vein, I need to wear the look all day, so I want to actually like it. I feel like some YouTubers will do the look and then wash it off and go about their day, or do something more natural and then go about their day, but whatever I do in my video, I literally wear that all day long. I don't have time to put on makeup and then just wash it right off again. That's not my life. I have to like the look. And it's very rare that I don't. I think only once or twice have I washed off a look because I just didn't like the way it ended up. And if I don't like the way it ended up, I don't turn it into a video, so you wouldn't have seen that look anyway. I have a hair somewhere. So yeah, this look is probably just going to be blue and green. I haven't decided, and I'm not sure if I'm going to grab another palette. I'm going to put down the colors from this palette and then decide from there. I'm going to take a crease brush from e.l.f. And I'm taking the shade Emotional, and I'm going to put this in the outer corner and the outer crease area. Such a nice light baby blue matte. Planning on doing a two-toned look here, so I think I'll do the green. I like to do an angle this direction if I can, so I'm going to do the green here leading that way, and so the blue, instead of going straight up and down like I have it right now, I'm going to carry the bottom portion a little bit angled towards the nose. And obviously I don't need any lighter color to blend this out because this is already a pastel blue, so I'm just gonna bring it up a little bit higher here, and then I'll probably take a smaller or a clean blending brush and buff out the edges. I'm going to take a small pencil brush and carry that blue onto the lower lash line as well, in the outer corner at least. I think I'll just stop it in the outer corner for now because I haven't decided what to do with the rest of the lower lash line. And then with a clean blending brush, I'm going to soften these edges. I have been pre-filming these birthstone looks because once I've decided to declutter a palette, I don't want to hold on to it inevitably. I mean, if I've decided it's gonna go, then I want to finish my looks with it and go. So yesterday I filmed the turquoise look, and I was so torn between the turquoise and peridot. I was so torn as to whether or not I should declutter those because they're both so good. Honestly, all of them are good. I have the garnet as well. I already passed on the sapphire, and I've got this one, the opal. And I decided for sure that sapphire, sapphire's already gone. It was a beautiful palette, but it was the wrong tones for my skin. And then garnet, my daughter chose to keep as one of her 2 palettes, and we traded out a different one from her little collection. And then this one I know for sure I'm going to declutter because honestly the only 2 shades I really like in it are the 2 that I'm using today. The others are okay, they're fine, but they don't excite me at all. But the Peridot palette and the turquoise palette are both so great. I like all of the shadows. Yesterday's turquoise look was fantastic. And I can't decide. Should I keep them? Should I not keep them? Maybe I'll keep them for a while and see if I don't know. They're so good though. They're so good. BH Cosmetics just does a great job. Look, I mean, look at this blue. This is a beautiful baby blue matte. And it's kind of hard to achieve this sort of color. A lot of brands, at least I assume so, because a lot of brands just don't do it. But BH did a great job with their brown mattes and their baby blue mattes. Like the Blueberry Muffin palette is fantastic. It's all browns and blues and it's just done so well. Next, I'm going to take the Mint Green Shimmer. I have a flat C or shader brush. The shade is called Personable. And I am dipping into the pan and then I'll spray my brush. I remember this color being incredible. So let's see. I'm going to put it on my lid space at the inner corner and work it out to meet the matte blue. Oh, yeah, that's a good shade. I mean, it's not the most incredible shimmer that I've used by far, but it's just a very good one. I mean, it's really good. And because I didn't bring any blue into this crease area at the inner part, I'm putting shadow on the brush and then flattening it. So the fat part of the brush is against my crease and I'm just carrying that up. So the color will meet the blue over here and it doesn't look disjointed. With my blue matte brush, I'm not taking new product, but I'm just tapping where the shimmer meets the matte to help blend those two formulas together. The shades are close enough, it's not going to take hardly any work at all to blend the shades together. And I think I'll dip back into the blue here and just drag a little bit up here. Alright, I definitely do want to deepen it up a little bit. So I've got the Do Not Disturb palette, also from BH Cosmetics. I grabbed this one because I knew that BH formula would blend nicely on top of other BH formulas. So I'm going to take a large pencil brush, make sure I color switch it and get it all clean. And then I'm going to take the shade Personal Space, going in very lightly, just a few dips, and then I tap my brush. Because, I mean, you can always add more, but you can't take it away if you put too much. And this is a very, very pastel look, so I don't want to overwhelm it with deep shades. So I'm just putting Personal Space in this outer corner in like a sideways V shape. So starting in the outer corner and dragging it down towards my lash line at that same angle that I used for the blue-green. And then I just go back to where I started at the inner corner and work up to the crease. So I make a sideways V shape and that deepens that little outer triangle. Now with the big clean blending brush, I'm just working at that space here. And what I do in my outer corner is I go back and forth, usually little circular motions, first to blend the shadows together, and then I slowly work out in smaller and smaller concentric circles out towards the tail of my brow. And what that does is it creates the cat eye shape without being really, really stark and defined. When I first started doing eyeshadow, I discovered that I liked the cat eye shape, and so I would make a really clear line. And now looking back, I go, oh, but I didn't know any better. And you know, that's what I thought was good. And I learned since then, which is also good. So now what I do is I just do these little circular motions, working their way smaller and smaller until they just fade off into nothing. So I kind of get the illusion of the cat eye, but it's a very soft sort of shape, not too dramatic. The original blending brush, I'm going back into Emotional, and I'm just going over top of this dark blue to blend the blues together, really. But I think that's nice. You see how it darkened this side just a little bit, adds a little bit of contrast. That's all I wanted. Now on my lower lash line, I'm gonna take a small pencil brush and I'm gonna grab the shade Opal, which is the biggest white shimmery shade within this palette. And then I'm gonna spray it. I like to spray my shimmers, in case you hadn't noticed. And Opal I'm gonna put as an inner corner highlight, so right here. It's a lovely white shimmer, honestly. It's got a pink shift to it. And then I'm also going to drag it down all the way on the lower lash line to meet the blue matte. And now I want to take a light green eyeliner. This is ColourPop's Creme Gel Liner in the shade Aglow. And I'm going to tight line my waterline down here. Just bringing a little bit of the green, like a hint of green, to match the top shades into the bottom lash line. So that's cute, right? It's nothing too crazy. It's a very light pastel look. I'm going to go off camera, finish up the other eye, throw on some liner mascara, and then I'll be back to show you how it all turned out. Okay guys, and here's the finished look. I put on a winged eyeliner and some mascara, a little bit of the Showering Sunset shade from this Burt's Bees lip shimmer, and then for a face highlighter I actually took the Opal shade from the palette. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a pink white iridescent, and it's a good face highlighter actually. I prefer it being a face highlighter than being an eyeshadow. I just think it's a better formula. Anyway, this is the look. I do think it's very, very pretty, but it's not worth it for me to keep this palette just for the 2 shades that I like the most. Now, the first time I used this palette, I knew that I was going to use these 2 shades for my next and final look. And it's just time to pass it along. It doesn't get any use in my collection. It's great quality, great formula, but it's not worth me keeping for only these 2 shades, because these really honestly are represented elsewhere in my collection. I have the Mint to Beat palette from ColourPop, which is 9 really nice minty shades in both shimmer and matte formula, and then I have several different options for light blues, including other BH Cosmetics palettes, which are better and more varied than this one. So there you go. That is the Opal for October Birthstone palette. It's a lovely palette, and I hope that whoever gets it next will appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the look. Remember to comment below if you want to see anything specific. I have been known to take requests. Remember to like and subscribe if you like what you see and you want to see more. And until I see you again in my next video, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye. It's a lovely palette. It's a lovely palette. I hope some. It's a lovely palette, and I hope that whoever I pass.